This is the first house you grew up in, is that right?
Yeah, grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, left there when I was about 8 years old.
So has the house changed then?
Yeah, massively.
So that?
Never had a nice garden when I was there. I used to have a big massive cherry tree just there, which is gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, just me and my mum, single mum, lived in there. Yeah, it has changed, yeah.
So we're just going into Fulford Road. Fulford Road's quite well known.
There's a lot of crime and poverty down there.
Yeah.
It's kind of the one road that goes through the middle of Hartcliffe where, you know, it's has the most issues, should we say.
Crime?
There's a lot of crime down there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of poverty down there. This is as rough as it gets in Hartcliffe, you know.
And you would come here as a kid?
Yeah, I used to hang around there when I was a kid, and you know.
So where's the pub? Pub's along here, is there? And that's
But the Fulford's always been there. It's always stood,
Yeah.
still open.
Yeah.
And there aren't many pubs that have survived around here, so.
Yeah, there's a shortage.
Still in
There's
something, right?
shortage of pubs.
My local, the Harriers, that's been knocked down.
Yeah.
That was the best times of my life, going to the Harriers. That's all shut now.
Symes Avenue now,
Yeah.
which is famous in Hartcliffe, which is now Morrison's car park. This is where the Hartcliffe riots happened. When was that?
I think I was about 11, so you're talking 1992, something like that.
And we're right in the middle of it here, yeah?
So this used to be Symes Avenue, shops either side, road down the middle of it. Yeah, police one end, rioters the other end, and this is where it all went down, yeah.
Can you remember it yourself
Yeah.
vividly?
Yeah.
Where were you when it?
When it was all going on, obviously I was young, I was 11 years old, but I was still out and about. But, you know, everyone was scared, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can remember being scared with my parents and stuff,
Yeah.
or my parent, should we say. But then you'd go to school and you'd give it large with your mates and go, yeah, I went out to riots last night, like, do you know what I mean?
How did it happen?
I don't know, I don't want to talk about that.
No?
No.
That's all right. Well, I bet that's a fair point. Do you think people are still a bit like that around there? They don't want to...
What I will say about the riots is, okay, because of what happened, so the initial instigator, that might have brought 20 to 40 disgruntled, angry people up here
Yeah.
with something to say, and people just multiplied.
Some people from where I'm from, in Easton, they were getting taxis to come over.
Exactly, yeah. So
Yeah.
people were coming just for the trouble. It wasn't necessarily, you know, I think whatever it was that initially started those riots, that was kind of lost.
The media coverage, did they get the right tone?
I would say they captured the essence of how bad it was. I think they kind of tarred Hartcliffe, the community as a whole,
Yeah.
as this rioting community, when in fact 80% of the community were tucked behind curtains, scared stiff.
What is the perception? I know you can't speak for everybody, but the perception of how Hartcliffe is portrayed in the media in general.
It's a difficult one because I'd like to think of myself a realist. Whatever, stereotypes exist for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, people don't just invent stereotypes. There are a lot of scumbags in Hartcliffe. You know what I mean? Call a scumbag a scumbag. There are problems there. There are people you're never going to drag out from the gutter, but there are other people that are tarred with that same brush. All my friends grew up poor, but they've all grown up with morals.
But do we hear their story enough?
There's no story in a family that have not committed crime and they've been poor, but then they've got a job and a house. There's no story there, is there? Because that's just normal, right? That's what 90% of the population do.
Yeah.
So there is no story there, so I understand why they do it.
Yeah. But it'd be nice to hear the other side, to balance it out, perhaps.
What's the headline? Man from Hartcliffe buys his own, gets a mortgage. Like, it's just stupid, isn't it?
So, with Andrew, how long have you
I've
grew up in Hartcliffe?
I've grown up in Hartcliffe, basically been here all my life, yeah.
But you think you've seen a lot of changes
Oh,
here?
yes. From when I was a kid to what I am now, this has definitely changed a lot.
And what about how the media portray Hartcliffe?
I don't think the media portrays it in a very good light, but then that's probably down to Hartcliffe's own fault, probably, if you want. I mean, Hartcliffe, for me, is the best place on the planet. I love it. I mean, it's my home. It's got good bits, it's got bad bits, and probably because it's my home is why I like it so much. Yeah. But it has definitely changed.
A lot of time, particularly when like documentaries or things come into areas like Hartcliffe, there's this thing about people want to get out, and actually there's a load of people that just don't want to stay here for life as their aim as their community, isn't it?
As I said, for me, it's like it's home. Families here, everything like that. So I mean, it's got everything that you need, really. You just wish that some of the, I'll call them the younger generation, would perhaps have a little bit more respect for themselves.
Lads, do you fancy being on a TV show? talk about Hartcliffe?
Oh, yes, mate, obviously, mate, Hartcliffe massive.
What's there to do round here then?
Nothing really.
Nothing?
There ain't that many good places, like.
No?
There's all shit around there.
Really?
There ain't nowhere. Literally.
Where'd you go then on a night? Where'd you go, like a youth club or what were you?
Hang round there every night.
Do you?
Police come up here every night saying that we get into trouble and that, but we don't do nothing at all.
How does the police treat you round here then?
They arrested me last night just because I never gave them my name.
Really?
Yeah, they put me in cuffs and everything.
So what was you doing yesterday? No? Chucking eggs and that, weren't you? That wasn't me.
Someone was shooting fireworks in the car park yesterday.
Is that?
It was him now on the mic.
Oh yeah, it was. He shot the fireworks as well, didn't he?
What, at people or?
It was you who shot the
In the
fireworks
car
for
park.
that.
Almost knocked a little old lady out.
Yeah.
See, that's the weird thing, right? But you lot was laughing at that though, yeah?
Nah, it was pretty joking.
Yeah.
What do you lot want to do then, career-wise?
Scaffolding.
You don't want to do what?
Scaffolding.
Scaffolding? What about you?
Yeah, scaffolding is fat.
Well, so when you were a kid, you wanted to be scaffolders?
That's the first thing I think of.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mechanic. Yeah.
Dream job, mechanic, scaffolder, that's dream job, yeah?
Yeah. That's what
Anything
you
in the
love to
world?
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah?
Cheers, lads. Thank you so much.
Well done, boys.
Take it steady.
Be good, yeah? Yeah? Let's see if there's anyone in the book is. Lou. All right, mate?
Hello, mate.
Yeah, you all right?
Right, yeah, not too bad.
Right, how you doing? And how do you two know each other then?
His uncle, one of my best mates.
Yeah.
I went to school with Darren
Yeah.
Yeah.
from the age of 3,
Yeah.
and I'm still good mates with Darren now, and that's his uncle.
Yeah, I just see these guys the other day, didn't I? And, you know, I do feel sorry for them, like, because they've shut all the clubs down, like Hartcliffe School,
Yeah.
Hartcliffe Boys Club down Murford. Everything,
Well, and
everything.
the fun thing with the pub shutting down.
With the
when
pub
these
shutting
boys
down,
hit-
there's
when
no-
these boys hit 16, they can't go in a pub and have a beer. So ain't no pubs left. When you're 16, going to pubs, right? That's how you start learning respect, right?
That's
because
respect.
you're hanging about
You
with
do.
older people.
Yeah.
If you're not learning it from your parents, whatever, you're learning it from the people you're having a beer with at
That's
the pub or
right,
whatever.
that's right.
Do you know what I mean? And that's gone now.
That's gone.
The devil makes work for idle hands, and it's true. Like it
Yeah.
really is. When you got fuck all to do with yourself,
Oh, it's
trouble
terrible.
can sometimes find you.
I just feel sorry for them. Look at them. You know what I mean? It's like,
Show you what that man do. Cracking the clip, in the things. Don't say a thing.
You coming back now as an award-winning filmmaker on the cusp of making it in that industry, do you think it'd be easier then for kids to go, oh, look, he's from round here, so we could be a filmmaker?
I'm not getting £1 million budget to go and make a feature film, but I hope if I ever did get to that stage, yeah, I would hope these kids would see, I would hope I'd be able to come back and do something, and these kids would see that it's possible.
Is there not argument to say society needs people to do those kind of trades?
If they want to be scaffolders, whatever.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is there's no options. They're
Right.
saying scaffolders not because that's their dream, they're saying scaffolders because that's one of 3 options they've been given.
Hello.
All right, who's in? Can I come in for a cup of tea? Yeah, that's all right. All right, mate.
Right.
Give it here, mate. This is my Uncle Kerry.
What was you like growing up then?
terrorist.
So when I said earlier on that I was moved out from my mum when I was about 14, 15,
Yeah.
my uncle and auntie took me in, and then I lived there for about a year and a half until I was old enough to get my own flat at 16. We got a massive, massive family, cousins everywhere, aunties, uncles everywhere, and this is the hub, right? So this used to be my nan's house,
Yeah.
and then my auntie and uncle moved in, and it's just always remained like the place everyone meets, everything stems from here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm proud of him, and Sam as well.
Sam is my cousin. When we were kids, me and Sam, we would just spend all our time watching films and stuff,
Yeah.
and this is where we'd do it. Video man would come round, we'd watch videos, and just grew from there. Yeah, I mean, Sam luckily eventually got to go to uni, but that was only when he saved up enough money, and he don't forget he still had the support of his parents, right? So like, my mum's done a runner or whatever, like I think.
3 of your cousins all went to university from Hartcliffe, so they wouldn't have had any more money than anyone else? Or
No,
anyone?
definitely not, no. So my uncle's a plasterer, and my auntie
Yeah.
is right there. So you were just chatting about Rosie, Sam, Scott going to uni, and not many kids from Hartcliffe going to uni and stuff. But I was saying it's because they have support, and it's not financial support, it's family support.
But I don't think that's the only reason why they don't go.
What do you think the reasons are?
Stigma.
Stigma, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they're not. It's not within their reach to go, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
They just think, oh, we can't go because...
Because they're from Hartcliffe?
If you're comfortable in your surroundings and you've got, you know, a place to live and parents that are going to support you no matter what, it will empower you to think, okay, well I can go and do whatever I want because, or I can have a good go, a good crack at it, because I've always got that support behind me.
So why didn't you go to university?
My mum had shacked up with a different guy that I didn't get on with or like, so I was essentially homeless at 15 until my auntie took me in. At 16, as soon as I was old enough to get my own place, I had got a council flat. So that's the time at 16, right? You're going to college and you're going to university. But at 15, 16, I had a council flat. I had rent to pay. I had to buy food for myself. So I had to go and get a job. Couldn't go to college, so I went to work on a building site at 16, labouring. And then from then, I'm already essentially an adult that needs to support myself. So it was physically impossible to go to college or uni and live on my own. And then at 19, I had my first kid. So.
Which pub was that?
So that was the Harriers Public House. So that was the pub that I drunk in from the age of 15 till it was knocked down when I was 30 or whatever. And that was kind of the hub of the community around there. This is where you drank with all your mates. This is where you kind of learnt respect from the elders of the community.
It was just like a meeting point for families, really. The Harriers was. Yeah, I ran that pub for 2.5 years and never had any trouble whatsoever because it was like total respect within the pub.
And you knew you'd go in there, you were safe in there.
Yeah.
There was no, if there was trouble, it'd be turfed out pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a shame it went really, but it's as simple as that. It was a successful pub when I was running it, obviously.
Why are all the pubs shut down, do you know?
Well,
what is the reason?
The rates is fucking phenomenal. It's hard to, keep up with the rates. The maintenance of the buildings obviously is down to the people that own them anyway. But even though you're still trying to keep it up yourself, as you know, I painted and decorated it, got people in to do it and refurbish the pub, and then, they wouldn't sell it to me.
No.
And then obviously sold it to developers instead.
Because that's where there's more money for them, right?
Well, exactly, more money, yeah.
Ask these kids what they want to be. What age does it change? Because they'll probably say, good stuff now. What do you want to be when you grow up? You three. What jobs do you want? Anything in the world. A physiotherapist.
Yeah.
What about you?
Me.
Well, I haven't the same job. A vet.
A vet?
Doctor?
Doctor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Ask them those same questions in 10 years and I bet you get a different answer. I don't know at what point an 8-year-old girl goes from wanting to be a doctor to then deciding they want to be an hairdresser.
But then with this then, Paul, with you now, obviously, with all that's going on good for you, is this pushing your keen and Casey to be thinking, oh, my dad's doing this now?
So my youngest son wants to be an actor.
Yeah.
Adamant, that's what he wants to be. And that's probably inspired a little bit from what I do or whatever. But he goes to a PQA academy, right? That costs me, for my son and my daughter to go to that academy on a weekend, Saturday for 3 hours, it cost me 150 quid a month. So like my kids have become lucky with the fact that I've turned out all right or whatever, but that still cripples me to send them there. But I just make sure I go about other things and make sure I always find out 150 quid so they can go there, do you know what I mean?
One thing that strikes to me is the uniqueness of it being on the edge of the city, but also that sense of community. Some of those community hubs have disappeared and have gone, but that's going to have an impact upon how people feel about their area, how people relate to each other, and also going to have an impact upon what really we've been talking a lot about is about the aspiration of young people.
Yeah, so I think the community has been diluted, so it still exists in little pockets like this, but as a whole, the community feels a little bit more diluted, because there's everything's shutting down. Yeah, there's nothing left for kids to do.
That 3% of kids going to university, how we can think about getting that higher, or at least young people thinking it's possible. Any sort of kind of solutions?
I think it has to start with education, it has to start in the schools, it has to start with the youth workers, and it has to, some ownership has to be taken by the parents, just for kids to see these careers and see these industries and see that it's a possibility.
These institutions and organisations that are in this bubble, how can they start to reach out?
Get on the streets. Those kids you were chatting to earlier on that were rapping.
Yeah.
Maybe they'd want to be a rapper, get on some sort of music clubs, but they can't because they can't afford to go to these music clubs. There needs to be places for these kids where money doesn't come into it. They can go because they want to go, and someone somewhere is subsidising that so that they can go. It's that simple.